Hey guys, so we're gonna be playing some StarCraft 2 Grandmaster as Zerg with my point of view. And currently I'm not in Grandmaster League because I simply do not have enough games on my account. I haven't been playing that much for the last half a year or so. But my MMR roughly corresponds to the Grandmaster League. So let me check. It starts from 5.1k and my MMR is somewhere around this number. So I'm gonna be like top 100, something like this. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you some stuff that I find really useful and some strategies and build orders that I really like in this game. And just, my overall decision-making process and how I like to play that game. So first we have a Terran opponent and I'm going to be playing something standard. My main problem with Terran players was that it's pretty difficult to get into a very favorable position. I think this matchup is actually the most difficult one because you have to play very careful. You most likely gonna be on defense for the whole game because this is just how this matchup looks like, right? Zerg player just defends for what, like 10 minutes, and then you actually start going on offensive and maybe like trying Baneling harass and something like that. So my goal here would be showing how I like to play this game, how I like to play ZVT especially, and what I do. And I like to play it really greedy and rely on queens for the beginning. Because queens counter pretty much everything. Queens and links is the only answer that gets the job done against any kind of aggression that Terran player can actually give you. So this is our goal right now. We are just building up the bases. We are playing like a super standard build order that you can find anywhere in the web, in the internet, right? We're just placing our hatchery first, then some gas, and the pool after that. Our first overlord goes straight to Terran's base. I think it's the best way to do that. You can also send this overlord here, maybe like just scouting for proxies, but it's not that necessary, and you can just do the scouting with the second overlord. Most Terran players would usually place proxies either here, so like somewhere around the 4th base, or this 4th base here. This is like the most common spots, and you should be looking for them. But so far I think it's safe to say that he's not doing anything crazy, or at least hope so. After we finish our scouting with this overlord, we just send it to a different place, and we make sure that it will reach this area here around his main base, and we'll fly there just sometime later to see what he's actually doing. So my opponent scouted me with an SCV, that's a good sign. That means that he's not doing something crazy. And now we need to pull our workers of gas. You can actually make the zergling speed right now, but you can also delay that and put your hatchery first. I think it's kind of cool to do so, because your base will be a bit earlier, you'll have your queen earlier, and your economy will snowball a bit more as well. This overlord actually flew too far away. Oops, that's a pretty basic mistake, but maybe you can relate to me, right? Everybody does that. It's fine, though. We put the hatchery, and our goal right now is to just simply produce drones. It's a pretty straightforward game as a Zerg player. Now we're gonna be just making drones and some queens if we have like any kind of spare money. And yeah, it would be good to also defend our crypt tumor. And yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. So my opponent actually is kind of good with his marines and stuff, but he only got one overlord, so it's not a big deal. I'm just gonna be moving the second one. And now I'm gonna be making the speed. As you see, I make a lot of mistakes even in Grandmaster League. Maybe because I'm talking to you, maybe because I'm trying to be doing two things simultaneously, but I guess it's fine, right? We're still like facing not a super strong opponent, it's not like a 6k Terran. So I hope you'll forgive me, and my opponent will do that as well. So at this point we don't need any units at all. My opponent cannot really threaten me with anything whatsoever. Like the only scary thing that could be two Hellions. And, well, that's it, right? So we're gonna be making links around 3.40 or somewhere close to that. And we're just gonna be using queens. We're gonna be producing queens non-stop until we hit our desired number of 6. And we're gonna saturate our gas around this timing as well. So, yeah, here we see, like, the first Hellions. And now we can scout his base with our overlord at minute 4, right? And now we need to see what's gonna be there. So as you see, like, I don't really do anything in this game. I'm just being like super lazy, and I'm just, patrolling the base with my queens, and I just need to see what he's doing. Okay, so the guy's playing bio. It's, pretty obvious he's researching Steam. And he also has the third CC on his main, so it means that he's not gonna be very aggressive for the next maybe like 2 minutes or so. And I need just to put down 2 chambers and start doing upgrades. So all this happens around like this timing, 4:30. I'm probably gonna just, you know, write down the perfect build order in the video description, but for now just you can stick to what I'm doing. We keep making queens. We didn't see actually like any starport or anything like this, so we don't really need even like the spore photos. And I guess, like, my guess would be this guy is just not gonna be attacking me at all, because I didn't see like a lot of production from all his stuff. So I'm just gonna be droning as fast as I can, and see, I don't need like really many links. I can just maybe like put them to some Naga towers, and that's it. Well, there's just no point in making more of that. And I really need to make sure to place my 4th base as soon as possible. Well, I'm very confident that he's not gonna be attacking me, because I saw his 3rd base. I know that he's gonna be expanding, and I know that he's not gonna be hitting like a scary timing very, very soon. So this allows me to actually make a lot of drones, and my economy is complete right now. So see, I have 69 drones. That's a good number, and we're gonna be from now on just producing battle units. We don't need anything else. So the goal for this game, for StarCraft 2 in general as Zerg, you need to mass produce workers before you start producing army. That's like the best case scenario, and if you can do that, then you're probably going to be very successful in most of your games. So now we can add additional gases if you are playing Hydras. If you don't play Hydras, you can just skip and use only 4 or maybe 5 gases, and then transition to Infestors. But I'm going to be playing Hydras for this game, just because I want it. Not like... It's not necessary, but I think it's a good unit, especially after the recent patch. And as you see, like, I'm not doing really that much. I'm not even like scouting him, because, well, what could go wrong? Like, he's probably gonna be attacking me with some drops, yeah, and, you know, you see they're here. And I just need to make sure that I, you know, kind of spread my army here and there. And this is like actually a big wave of units, sorry. Sorry for my language. And yeah, well, we just attacked with Banelings and Queens. He did a good job microing me, but, well, it's still fine. We're just gonna be making more. Probably gonna bring some stuff from the main base as well. And we keep on producing units, and that's it. Make sure to make also like injects when you have the time, and pay attention to your upgrades. Yeah, that's pretty important. We should not fall behind on the upgrades. That's the most important part, and we really need to take care of that. And yeah, well, that's pretty much it. After we actually managed to defend the first attack, and we just need to go for the workers on the 4th base, and we just spread the creep around that base. That's it. We don't need to do more than that. And yeah, he's probably going for my main, I can see that, or he's going for double dropping. Alright, so this is gonna be like a tricky game. Now we need to split the army. What we're gonna do here is that we're gonna just put a rally point here, and we're gonna be producing like some battle units to that side, and we're gonna be bringing queens to this side as well as links. Oh, actually, how did I lose this extractor? Oh, what? Oh, that's actually kind of cute. Yeah, I don't know how it's happened, but anyway. So, like, we can attack this Marines, and our goal right now is just to defend with all we have. All the units that we have right now. This was actually a pretty bad positioning, but still. We can even F2 move here, it's not a big deal. Our goal right now is just to have, like, a decent economy, get the 2-2 upgrades, and fight him whenever it's necessary right here. So... that's it. We can put a bit of a spore clovers, maybe like on sides, that would be also good. And we need to make sure there is nothing happening on our backyard, right, on the 4th base, somewhere close to this. So you see, like, I don't even use any hotkeys. I just, you know, toggle my camera around all those structures and bases, and if I see like a big army, I just F move here. I use like F2 button and then just go here, right? It's not super efficient, but again, it works. It works on most levels, and it's not complicated, and this is like just the easy way to play this game. So, and we just stay on defense, like, yeah, we can forget about the creep spread, like, I can play probably like a better game with a better creep spread, but that's not the main point here, right, because creep spread is good, creep spread is essential, but economy is more important. Actually, at this point, we probably should see what he's doing. Oh, he's actually going for a big attack. And yeah, now we need to go back, and we need to prepare to counter that attack. And this is going to be like a really good moment, I guess, in this game. because we will be defending those time in this game, like a big push, I guess. And so far, yeah, so far we just need to make sure that we have like a really good surround, and that's gonna be it, probably. Unless I really did something wrong in the beginning, but I think the game is going actually like really good. We can even... we're not gonna be paying attention to this base, it's not so important right now, and we just need to go for a big surround here. And just A-move all of your units when you're ready, and that's it. That's it. That's like the easiest way to play this game. And yeah, you see, like when you have like a really big economy, it doesn't matter how bad you micro. You just saw yourself, right? It's like a live footage. I just A-moved all of my stuff and I just won this engagement. That's it. Like, yeah, Zerg is as easy, right? And well, pretty much. Now we're just going for the triple upgrades, and we're probably gonna saturate our next base. Our target goal is 90 workers. 90 workers is a good number. And we just keep on defending the base as well. Like, we need to make sure we have enough Banelings actually, because I think this guy is pretty confident because I don't have many Banelings and he has actually some tanks. And I need to probably retreat a little bit. At this point, we can start sending our links. We could actually do that even earlier, right? We could have started sending our links to his fourth or third base. Or maybe like even some Banelings, but I think this is like the best timing now, right? And he actually doesn't have anything scary here, so we're just gonna go for a run by and try to force as much damage as we only can. And yeah, we can actually fight even with some of the Marines and just retreat back. You see, like he doesn't have the base, I see, so it's not gonna be like a big deal for me to blow up whole thing here. And the guy is just not expanding properly. Make sure to also like place additional bases here and there, and we can start switching to ultras. I think I built the ultra cavern. Yeah, I did that. And now we're just gonna be building like a couple of ultras. So about the hydras also, like you need like a really decent amount. I would say you need around whoa, this was actually a pretty good engagement, guys. Well, you need around like maybe 15 to 20. You don't really need that many actually. Like I think I just built a little bit too much. But that's fine, that's fine. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna just keep on attacking with links, and we're gonna be waiting for him to go into us and die. That's like the best case scenario. And we're just gonna be running on the main base, on the natural, just you know, doing all this like annoying harassment that works perfectly against this race, especially because again, Terrans don't have like such a sophisticated production as let's say Protoss race, and it's gonna be like super annoying. He is losing his economy, and well, that's our goal, right? Well, we are enjoying our 5 base economy, even though it's not perfect, even though I'm making some mistakes, but this is like the basics, right? This is like the, how's it called, like 101, right? So yeah, just keep on pushing with Zerlings. It's just the only thing that you need to do. It's also good to spread creep, but you know, that's not so important, I would say. And yeah, just keep going with links. The next counter-attack is probably somewhere on the map now. Let me check. Oh, he's actually not. And yeah, the same attack happens, the same response. Again, for us, it's pretty cheap. We are not losing anything. Links are pretty cheap, and unless like unless like we really like take a terrible engagement, then you know, I think it's fine. Well, we can also now enhance our attack by actually committing on the front line, and we can also enhance our army by building, well, maybe something more than links, and you know, we can add some wipers, we can add some infestors, but in case if you feel like it's not necessary, you don't need to do that. But I strongly recommend you to build at least infestors, because well, with the fungal grow, it's pretty good. It's pretty well, just the fight is going to be much better for you. That's what I think. Okay, so the guy is going for an attack, and we're just going to go for a small attack ourselves and see if he actually returns. When we have such an engagement, it's very important to get rid of the SCVs. That's our priority right now, the SCVs, not the planetary actually. And yeah, I just got a terrible engagement in the mid, by the way, so I need to return, I would say, but it's fine. We're just gonna remax, and I think it's gonna be fine in our defensive lines, right? We can afford to lose some of the bases, it's not so important right now. Again, our goal is just to win the next engagement when it comes to our bases, and we can actually retreat as much as we want to, because again, we don't need to win immediately, we just need to win the economy war and make sure we don't do like any like really big mistakes. And it will be also good to kill this base, but even if we don't do that, it's fine. Yeah, missing the army on the middle is something that happens all the time to all players. And that was actually a pretty big mistake. But again, like, due to how Terran works, like, this race, it relies on, you know, this... Oh my god, it's gonna be painful. Since, like, he doesn't have, like, an infinite amount of medevacs, he relies quite heavily on all these, like, engagements. Like, he needs to make sure that he finishes me off quickly or that he has enough medevacs. And I just can keep counterattacking him wave after wave after wave. And you see, like, he is struggling to defend because, well, that's just how things work in the late game, right? And I can just send some of my units to his side and just prepare for a good defense at home. That's basically everything that I need. And yeah, the moment he's gonna commit to an attack, he's probably not gonna be having enough stuff, and or he's just gonna be returning home. Okay, this is actually a great situation for me, because now I can just go for a big attack. And I probably need to make a bit less ultras right now, because he committed like really heavily with his tanks, so his army is pretty tank heavy, I would say. And since I have like a better economy, I don't need to worry about anything. Well, yeah. I think I can replace one base at least, and maybe like spread some crit here as well, that would be good. So, yeah. The guy I'm playing against is having a bad time right now because he cannot really leave his base, and he cannot really go for the like end game push because his economy is too bad right now. He might be trying to expand, he might be trying to throw mules, but again, from a Terran standpoint, you really need to be aggressive all the time. You need to put on pressure, and if it doesn't happen, then you're probably gonna lose the game, and this is what's happening here. So the guy, he's trying really hard, but he needs to go and he needs to be decisive here. But what I can do here instead, I don't need to attack him immediately, I can just go for a big base trade, and this is actually gonna be better in most cases, right? Because just how it works in this game, like Zerg race isn't particularly great at base trading, but in this very specific case, I think it's gonna be better because again, Terran player, he cannot really reinforce his army, and he's not mining anymore. Like, he's mining still some of the resources on this base, but it's not gonna be lasting for too long, right? And I can just retreat, I can just buy time, I can just take the other bases where I can afford that, and I can fight when I'm ready. Like now, for example. Yeah, I think I moved some of my units when he was a bit distracted, and that happened. And this is a GP. So, you just saw like a freaking terrible game for a Grandmaster player. I would call it that way, you know, because you can see my resource loss tab was pretty damn bad. And I didn't really have any hotkeys. Like, you can see at my hotkey tab here, I have what, like queens and hatcheries, and I was just sitting on my base all the time. My microcontrol was kind of alright, and my Terran was actually microing quite heavily, I would say, and he's actually a decent player, right? But still, like, StarCraft 2 is more about decision making, and you just need to remember about like the two dumbest decisions that you need to do. You just need to defend and wait for a perfect engagement. You just need to have a better economy, and I was having that all the time. You can see I had 84 drones against 68. I had a okay creep spread. It was actually quite terrible by Grandmaster standards, but still. And at one point, I just started doing the counterattacks all the time. And even if counterattacks are not, you know, they are not succeeding, then it's not a big deal because, again, Terran still has to leave some units at home for defense, right? And this guy decided to make a big army, and that was actually a big mistake. What most Zergs do wrong, I think, is that you are trying to engage his army directly all the time, and most of the case, it's not the greatest decision, actually. So, let me take an example, let me just show you that. So I was just going around the map here and there, and I think there was a point when this guy decided to go for an attack. So, for example, here, what most players would do, it's like a natural instinct to do, most players would go for a big attack, and they would be trying to finish the game with this one engagement. But you have to keep in mind that when you're playing Zerg, your economy is usually going to be a bit larger than other races. So, for example, now I hear 90 drones. That's actually a bit too much. I probably don't need as many. And my opponent is going to have just a larger army supply. And you can see that clearly he has triple the amount. And my goal is not to win a direct engagement. My goal is to chip away at his army to try to destroy maybe like some squads, some soldiers here and there. Maybe like just wait until his medivacs are running out of energy. Well, he actually has quite a lot of them, so it's not gonna happen, but still, you can see like every time he steams, there are like some bruised marines that are not as efficient anymore, and even though I'm losing quite a lot here and there, the point is that I need to put pressure on him as well. And if I put this pressure on him, he's probably not going to be recovering after the final fight. And I can just fight somewhere around my bases, but I'm probably going to be remaxing because I have a really great economy, and I also have a bank that's pretty important. And even if I take a bad engagement right now, which can of course happen, and I think which happened several times in this game, I can still remax, it's not a problem, but he cannot. And you can see here clearly, he takes one small mistake, that's like one bad engagement, and he loses, I think, a quarter of his army. But at the same time, he cannot really remax because he's constantly losing some economy at home, and he's losing some of his units, and it's just like really, really difficult to do anything. And again, from my point of view, remember, I don't have any hotkeys. These are just fake hotkeys. I'm not doing anything with them. They're just, you know, they just don't make sense. Just don't believe this tab. I'm not using hotkeys. I swear to you. Like it's just the F2 button, and you can see like I'm winning against like a solid guy. I would call him a decent player, and I'm playing like a complete idiot, like a dumbass, and I'm still winning, right? And this is what you need to get, I think, from this small experience. So you don't really need to be super fast, efficient. So, like you don't need to have so much APM. You don't even need to have like a good microcontrol. You can just win games with some like small, pretty basic, I would even say like obvious blood and decision making. And yeah, I was just attacking with my whole army until my guy was actually running with what, 20 SCVs. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And at this point, like every engagement that he takes is gonna be good for me. Like even if he kills some of my bases, even if he kills like some of my economy, it's still fine. I'm just gonna be sending links and trading really well. And it actually works on all levels. You can see that even on a really high level with Rainer and Clem and other players. The only difference is that at a higher level, you know, most Terrans, they know how to transition to a late game, and they're probably going to be a bit more reluctant to attack in this situation. So like some really great Terran players would be trying to stay at home, defend, place tanks, place liberators, tech to ghosts, and then they might be doing something offensive, right? But this is usually not the case for the majority of Terrans, at least from my experience and from the experience of other players in other leagues. But in any case, we'll study the other example very soon. But for this video, I think it was helpful for you. If so, leave a like in the comment. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and see you next time.